The House will come to order. Today, the Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Representative Wilstead.
Members, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Shebo, please call the roll.
Representatives Amabile. Rep. Amabile. Amabile is excused. Armagast. Bacon. Representative Bacon. Byrd. Bockenfeld. Basenecker. Bottoms. Bradfield. Bradley. Brown. Catlin. Doherty. DeGraff. Degree Kennedy. Rep. Degree Kennedy. Degree Kennedy is excused. Dixon. Duran. Here. English. Epps. Evans. Frizzell. Froelich. Garcia. Gonzalez Gutierrez. Hamrick. Hartsook. Herod. Holtorf. Judah. Joseph. Kipp. Leader. Lindsay. Linstead. Luck. Lukens. Lynch. Mabry. Okay. Marshall. Martinez. Morrow. Representative Morrow. Morrow is excused. McCormick. McLaughlin. Michelson Janae. Ortiz. Rep. Ortiz is excused. Parenti. Puglisi. Ricks. Sharbini. Sirota. Snyder. Soper. Story. Taggart. Titone. Valdez A. Velasco. Rep. Velasco. Vigil. Weinberg. Weissman. Wilford. Wilson. Winter. Woodrow. Young. And Madam Speaker.
Here. With 61 present, 4 excused, we do have a quorum. Representative Lindstedt.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. You know, members, today I came into this chamber a little bit disappointed. I came up here yesterday and I made a motion, and I don't think anyone was listening, and I don't think anyone voted. So today, I would ask that you give your constituents a voice, regardless of how you vote, but please vote. You're here to represent them, and they deserve your vote, your voice on this important motion. So I move that the Journal of Tuesday, May 2nd, be approved as corrected by the Chief Clerk.
Members, you have heard the motion that the journal be approved as corrected by the Chief Clerk. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The motion is adopted. Announcements. Members, couple of announcements from me. Representative Hamrick will replace Representative Ortiz on State Civic, Military, and Veteran Affairs Committee today only. Representative Garcia will replace Speaker Pro Tem Degree Kennedy on the Finance Committee for today only. Representative Snyder.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, House Finance will meet upon adjournment to hear 4 bills, and whenever that is, we'll see you downstairs. Thank you.
Thank you, Rep. Snyder. Any more announcements? Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move to proceed out of order for third reading of bills.
Members, we are to third reading. Seeing no objection, we will proceed to third reading, final passage of bills. Ask members to take their seats. Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move to lay over Senate Bill 255 and Senate Bill 256 until later today.
Senate Bills 255 and 256 will be laid over until later today. Madam Majority Leader. Oh, sorry, Mr. Schiebel. Please read the title to Senate Bill 159.
Senate Bill 159 by Senators Hendrickson and Pelton B., also Representatives Basenecker and Lindsay, concerning the continuation of the Colorado Food Systems Advisory Council and in connection therewith, extending the sunset date by 3 years and making an appropriation.
Madam Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move Senate Bill 159 on third reading, final passage.
The motion before us is the adoption of Senate Bill 159 on third reading, final passage. Mr. Schiebel, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Bottoms, DeGraff, Holtorf, Luck. Please close the machine. With 61 aye, 2 no, and 2 excused, Senate Bill 159 is adopted. Co-sponsors. Please close the machine. Mr. Schiebel, please read the title to House Bill 1260.
House Bill 1260 by Representatives Soper and Valdez, also Senators Baisley and Priola, concerning tax incentives to maximize investments in semiconductor and advanced manufacturing in Colorado and in connection therewith, authorizing the Economic Development Commission to approve refund certificates for certain income tax credits, creating a semiconductor manufacturing zone program, modifying the Colorado Job Growth Incentive Tax Credit for semiconductor and advanced manufacturing, creating an advanced industries task force, and making an appropriation.
Madam Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move House Bill 1260 on third reading, final passage.
The motion before us is the adoption of House Bill 1260 on third reading, final passage. Mr. Schiebel, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Bachenfeld, Catlin, Doherty, Hartsook, Luck, Michelson, Janae. Please close the machine. With 54 aye, 9 no, and 2 excused, House Bill 1260 is adopted. Co-sponsors. Please close the machine. Oh,
What's the matter? Do you want to go off? I'm not allowed to change.
She can change it. Does she need to do it?
I think she's going to have to come down and do it, unless her button.
Representative Epps, we will need for you to come to the well to announce you'd like to be removed. We are okay. Please close the machine. Mr. Shebel, please read the title to House Bill 1309.
House Bill 1309 by Representatives Harrod and Snyder, also Senator Roberts, concerning the restructuring of the performance-based incentive for film production in Colorado and in connection therewith, reducing an appropriation.
Madam Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move House Bill 1309 on third reading and final passage.
The motion before us is the adoption of House Bill 1309 on third reading, final passage. Mr. Shebel, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Please close the machine. With 45 aye, 18 no, and 2 excused, House Bill 1309 is adopted. Co-sponsors. Please close the machine. Mr. Shebel, please read the title to House Bill 1273.
House Bill 1273 by Representatives Snyder and Joseph, also Senator Roberts, concerning the creation of the Wildfire Resilient Homes Grant Program and in connection therewith, making an appropriation.
Madam Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move House Bill 1273 on third reading and final passage.
Representative Snyder.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And with such a flurry yesterday, we have a small technical fix. And so I ask for permission to run a third reading amendment.
Please explain.
Okay, so we did take some amendments yesterday to make the program open, to make sure it's open to more people, that the fire prevention and control, when awarding grants and setting up the grant program, they take into factors like people's income, their assets, whether it's a second home or not. In doing that, we actually created a small conflict in a paragraph, two paragraphs down on the same page. So it would just be striking 2 words, consider or. So it really has no substantive change to the program, just cleans up the language.
Thank you. The question before us is permission to run a third reading amendment to House Bill 1273. Mr. Shebel, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Bacon, Holtorf, Marshall, Ricks, Winter. Please close the machine. With 54 aye, 9 no, and 2 excused, permission for a third reading amendment is adopted. Representative Snyder.
Thank you. I move L005 and ask that it be properly displayed.
It is fuzzy. It is properly displayed. Please proceed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. So, as I said, we inserted some language yesterday, thanks to Representative Herod, with some great ideas on how to make the program direct the fire prevention and control to what factors that they may consider. There was a shall in there, so by just changing this language, it keeps it all to their discretion, but it strongly urges them to make these considerations. So I would ask for a yes vote on L005.
Representative Holtorf.
Madam Speaker, we heard this bill in committee. We talked about the program, and then I had a conversation with the bill sponsor about who should be a part of this program.
Representative, this is to the amendment, correct?
Yes,
Thank you.
and navigate around to that point in my special way. Now, with this amendment right here, what I want to know is that it doesn't infringe upon, and I'll have to wait a second because I do need the bill sponsor's attention, Madam Speaker. This is important. But while they're discussing over here, okay, now I think we're okay. May I continue, ma'am?
Please, Representative
Thank
Holtorf.
you. One of the things that I talked to the bill sponsor about is with respect to this program, that the folks, the targeted folks should be the folks that are at the bottom third of what I call the socioeconomic demographic. Now, in country words, that means the folks that are po or poorer. I can't even spell that. But the point is, the people down here that need the help, this bill needs to address those folks, not people on the upside of that. Now, I don't know where the water line is on that. Not my decision. Because in eastern Colorado, this is different. But I tell you, the people that need to be getting these grants are not the people that have a lot of damn money. They're the people that don't have a lot of money that need this consideration. And I wanted to make sure as we worked through the amendments, and we did, that this amendment is not going to change the good work that we did to make the grants. And I'm not a big grants fan, but I'll tell you this, for people that live in those areas, there's a certain population and demographic that should be eligible, and then there's people that should not. And I guarantee you, the people that should not be eligible will jump on this like that if we're not careful and don't frame this right. So I'm going to wait to hear what the bill sponsor has to say, but I'm passionate about this comment, and that's with most of these grants. And I see a lot of people taking advantage of a lot of things in this state, and the grant programs are one of them.
Representative Snyder.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. So what we're doing here, what we've done with the amendments we put onto this bill on second reading and in appropriations, do exactly what Representative Holtorf has, or the representative from Akron wants to do. So we're directing fire prevention and control to consider somebody's income level, somebody's assets, so whether or not they have a second home or not. And we don't want to be too prescriptive here because we're asking them to stand up the program. We want them to have that flexibility. But this is a strong guidance in making sure that this program is available to everybody in Colorado, especially those that are under direct threat of wildfire.
Representative Herod.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and to the representative from Akron. We agree once again, 2 days in a row, on this part of this bill. And what the language does, I did speak with the drafter. It is a technical amendment in its nature, but it does also make sure that the language that we put in yesterday is the language that overrides. And so it keeps in the shall consider, and it puts it at the top of that paragraph, and then it takes out the redundant language at the bottom, so that language is very clear and prioritized. So yes, they shall consider whether or not it's their first home or a second, third, fourth, fifth home, and their income and all other assets, because we know someone's wealth is not only measured by their income, but other assets as well. And so that language is what overrides predominantly, so that we can ensure that those who are lower income, who this is their primary residence, have the prioritization of the dollars that were appropriated by the Appropriations Committee. I ask for an aye vote on this amendment, and I thank the bill sponsor for their work.
Seeing no further discussion, the question before us is the adoption of L005 to House Bill 1273. Mr. Schiebel, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Doherty, Luck. Please close the machine. With 62 aye, 1 no, and 2 excused, the amendment is adopted. Madam Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move for the repassage of House Bill 1273 as amended.
The motion before us is for the adoption of House Bill 1273 as amended. Mr. Schiebel, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Please close the machine. With 49 aye, 14 no, and 2 excused, House Bill 1273, as amended, is adopted. Co-sponsors. Please close the machine. Mr. Schiebel, please read the title to House Bill 1020.
House Bill 1020 by Representatives Ricks and English, also Senator Fields, concerning social equity licenses in the regulated marijuana business and in connection therewith making an appropriation.
Madam Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move House Bill 1020 on third reading, final passage.
The motion before us is the adoption of House Bill 1020 on third reading, final passage. Mr. Schiebel, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Please close the machine. With 40 aye, 23 no, and 2 excused, House Bill 1020 is adopted. Co-sponsors. I'll say it again. I failed to gavel in the middle of of that photograph. House Bill 1020 is adopted. Co-sponsors, last call. Please close the machine. Mr. Schiebel, please read the title to Senate Bill 205.
Senate Bill 205 by Senators Bridges and Lundin, also Representatives Martinez and Wilson, concerning a scholarship program for Colorado high school graduates that prioritizes awards for students pursuing high-priority post-secondary pathways and in connection therewith making an appropriation.
Madam Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move Senate Bill 205 on third reading, final passage.
The motion before us is the adoption of Senate Bill 205 on third reading, final passage. Mr. Schiebel, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Please close the machine. With 59 aye, 4 no to excuse, Senate Bill 205 is adopted. Co-sponsors. Please close the machine. Mr. Schiebel, please read the title to Senate Bill 258.
Senate Bill 258 by Senators Buckner and Lundin, also Representatives Michelson, Janae, and Bradfield, concerning consolidating duties under the authorization process for Colorado educator preparation programs from the Department of Higher Education to the Department of Education and in connection therewith making an appropriation.
Madam Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move Senate Bill 258 on third reading, final passage.
Representative Michelson, Janae.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. It is with sorrow that I ask for permission for a third reading amendment. We ask for it. We ask for it.
Please explain.
So sometimes in our bills, they overlap with one another and cause problems. One such problem was caught. Senate Bill 258, our bill, moves the educator preparation program from Department of Higher Ed to the Department of Education. In doing so, Senate Bill 258 repealed Section 23(1)-121 and creates a new section entitled 22. You're all with me?
Sure.
HB 1231, which has already passed this session, amended Section 23(1)-121, which we struck. So this amendment moves the language that was added in HB 1231 into the corresponding new section created in SB 258, and we ask for your aye vote and permission to run that third reading amendment.
Representative Bradfield.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we'd be glad to let you read this, but an aye vote will be just fine in the meantime.
Thank you, Representative. Seeing no further discussion, the question before us is permission to run a third reading amendment on Senate Bill 258. Mr. Schiebel, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Please close the machine. With 61 aye, 2 no to excused, permission for a third reading amendment is adopted. Representative Michelson, Janae.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move Amendment L006 to Senate Bill 258 and ask that it be properly displayed.
The amendment is properly displayed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. This is as described, and I ask for your aye vote.
Seeing no further discussion, the question before us is the adoption of Amendment L006 to Senate Bill 258. Mr. Shebel, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Hamrick, Holtorf, Kipp, Lindsay, Vigil. Please close the machine. With 61 aye, 2 no, 2 excused, Amendment L006 is adopted. Madam Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move for the repassage of Senate Bill 258 as amended.
The motion before us is the adoption of Senate Bill 258 as amended. Mr. Shebel, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Holtorf, Kipp, and Luck. Please close the machine. With 61 aye, 2 no, 2 excused, Senate Bill 258 is adopted. Co-sponsors. Please close the machine. Mr. Shebel, please read the title to Senate Bill 174.
Senate Bill 174 by Senators Colker and Gardner, also Representatives Lukens and Winter, concerning access to behavioral health services for Medicaid recipients under 21 years of age.
Madam Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move Senate Bill 174 on third reading, final passage.
The motion before us is the adoption of Senate Bill 174 on third reading, final passage. Mr. Shebel, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Please close the machine. With 57 ayes, 6 no, 2 excused, Senate Bill 174 is adopted. Co-sponsors. Please close the machine. Members, we have some business to attend to. Announcements are next. Mr. Shebel, reports of committees of reference.
Committee on Appropriations, after consideration on the merits, the committee recommends the following: House Bill 1159 as amended, Senate Bills 6475, 277, 288, 289, and 291 as amended be referred to the Committee of the Whole with favorable recommendation. Committee on Judiciary, after consideration on the merits, the committee recommends the following: House Bill 1310 be postponed indefinitely. Senate Bill 164 and 251 be referred to the Committee on Appropriations with favorable recommendation. Senate Bill 279 and 282 be referred to the Committee of the Whole with favorable recommendation.
Message from the Senate.
Madam Speaker, the Senate has passed on
Message
third
from
reading.
the Senate will be printed in the journal. Message from the Reviser.
We herewith transmit.
Message from the Reviser will be printed in the journal. Representative McCormick.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Today, in about 10 minutes, Agriculture, Water, and Natural Resources will be meeting in 107. We will be hearing Senate Bill 275, Senate Bill 295, and Senate Bill 92. So we'll see you there.
Representative Story.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Tomorrow morning, Capital Development Committee will be meeting at 8 a.m. in Senate Committee Room 357.
Thank you. Representative Mabry.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, the Conference Committee for House Bill 1002 will meet tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. In room 352.
Excellent. Members, we have a tribute. Representatives Byrd and Sirota. And Representative Buckenfeld. Representative Byrd.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. We have a tribute and ask that it be read at length.
Mr. Shebo, please read our tribute.
The Senate and House of Representatives convened in the 74th General Assembly hereby extends recognition and gratitude to Carolyn Marie Kampman. On the occasion of her retirement as Director of the Joint Budget Committee staff of the Colorado General Assembly, we honor Carolyn Kampman's service to Colorado. Through her 29 years on the JBC staff, Carolyn's thoughtful analysis, clear communication, attention to detail, and sensitive mentorship have supported both legislators and other legislative staff in service of the people of Colorado. Her leadership as staff director over the last 4 years has helped build and sustain critical public services through some of the most challenging times ever experienced by our state government. Her generous spirit, commitment to good government, and devotion to the people of this great state are a source of inspiration to all those who have had the opportunity to serve with her. On request of Representatives Shannon Byrd, Emily Sirota, and Rod Bockenfeld, and Senators Rachel Zenzinger, Jeff Bridges, and Barbara Kirkmeyer, given this 3rd day of May, 2023, State Capitol, Denver.
Representative Bockenfeld.
Thank you very much. Ms. Kampman is going to be dearly missed. She has been tremendous in leading us through a very complex state budget. And Carolyn, we're going to miss you dearly, but stay in touch.
Representative Sirota.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you, colleagues, for allowing us this time this morning to honor Director Kampman for her years of service to the state of Colorado and for her role at the Joint Budget Committee. This was the first year I had the pleasure of working directly with Director Kampman, and it was truly an honor. It was clear from the start that Director Kampman has earned the highest respect from her staff as well as the legislators she works with. I'm so grateful for her steady hand, her attention to detail, her depth of knowledge, and her general stewardship of the Joint Budget Office. She possesses deep technical and subject matter expertise, and she also possesses the skills of a strong leader. She led the budget team through the wildest of circumstances, from a once-in-a-century pandemic to an influx of billions of federal dollars for transformational change in the state of Colorado. You certainly have earned your retirement, but you will be deeply, deeply missed here at the state legislature. We thank you so much for all that you have done on behalf of Coloradans, and we wish you well in your journey.
Representative Byrd.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And members, it is such an honor to be able to come into the well and offer tribute to this incredible professional who has served our fine state of Colorado since 1994. If the comments before me haven't impressed you, let me just give you a bit more information about how Director Kampman has served our state and how incredibly knowledgeable she is. So she began her tenure with the state in 1994. Her assignments over the years included human services and related HICPUF assignments, including child welfare, behavioral health services, EDO, and coordinating the human services team. She has depth of knowledge and worked with local affairs, treasury, law, education before the passage of Amendment 23, and led the budget work with that department through the depths of the Great Recession. The Judicial Department, she's worked to approve fiscal notes and develop new formats for appropriations clauses with OLLS. She became the director of the Joint Budget Committee in 2019, and just some of her accomplishments, these are just high points, are that she helped guide staff and members through the tumult of the COVID-19 pandemic, which began less than a year after she became staff director. Can you imagine? Thoughtfully expanding the JBC staff to handle the increasing workload that has come with a larger and more complex state budget. She has remodeled the JBC offices, which we are very grateful for up here, to handle the larger staff presence. She has led the legislative management team and worked to protect maintenance and growth of the general fund reserve. I have been a new member along with my colleagues, just appointed this November, and have only been able to work with Director Kampman for a short period of time. But I do want to say before that, my first time in the legislature was right when Director Kampman was appointed, and she has a stellar reputation, someone who has been known amongst members of the General Assembly as somebody with such a strong grasp of how our state operates and, of course, how the budget works. I was reflecting upon all that a person would need to know to have been able to competently guide a newbie team of JBC members. And can you imagine, not only does she know every in and out of our $38.5 billion budget, but she also knows how every one of our departments function. She has relationships throughout state government and has served as a guide to members so that we can recognize our own agency and make sure that we are carrying out our responsibility as those who have the power of the purse. I know I am personally grateful for all that she's done, personally and very selfishly sad that she will be leaving and won't be able to stay on with us, but on another level, very, very happy for this fine, fine professional and individual to see the next chapter of her life, spend time with her family and her grandchildren, and I hope she knows how greatly she is respected, how she will be remembered in this institution.
Representative Herod.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. It has been an honor to serve with Director Kampman under your leadership as well, Madam Speaker. Coming onto the Joint Budget Committee, I would not have been able to understand and learn the ropes if Director Kampman wasn't there, but additionally, with the leadership that she allows her staff to hold as well. I know that with Director Kampman's leadership, that anytime I go to any member of the Joint Budget Committee staff, I'm able to get clear answers quickly and thoroughly, which is important. But what I have come to appreciate most about Director Kampman is there are times when there is conflict, even in the budget. And there are conflict even within staff, recommendations, and sometimes there are mistakes. Director Kampman always owns them and finds a solution. I have never sat in a meeting with Director Kampman when there weren't multiple solutions that were offered to the Joint Budget Committee so that we can make a clear determination as to how to move forward. I think that's real leadership, that's trusted leadership, and that's why you will be so missed in this building. Thank you for your service.
Representative Byrd.
Members, please join me in recognizing Director Kampman and celebrating her work here for the state of Colorado.
Director Kampman, with the greatest of love and respect, congratulations on a beautiful, congratulations. I'll give you a hug later. Thank you all members. Representative Woodrow.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, the House State Civic Military and Veterans Affairs Committee will be meeting upon adjournment in LSBA to hear Senate Bills 292, 286, and 302.
Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. So members, we are going to break for committees and then come back to the floor after that. So at this time, I move that the House stand in recess until later today.
The House will stand in recess until later today.